Wii U Pro Controller. Nice touch. Based on, but not actually, a game by Nintendo. Welcome, everyone, to AM2R Return of Samus. AM2R stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake because for some reason there were multiple. This is the only one that made it to completion though. Just showing off the options here to demonstrate that this is in fact a PC game with PC level options. The gameplay control options here basically allow you to play the Metroid game as if it were either Zero Mission or Super Metroid, whichever style of Metroid controls you prefer. I'm a weirdo and I prefer the Zero Mission style of control with less buttons, so I'm going with that. So let's get started here. Reminder that these incidents include the whole Metroid Prime trilogy. Seems a bit over the top, but what are you gonna do? They are very dangerous. And here we have the return of Samus' ship from Super Metroid, or rather the chronologically first appearance of it, as we arrive on planet SR388. I wonder why they never gave it a name. Here we are. We start off with 99 health, 30 missiles, our dinky little power beam, and our dinky little power suit against God knows how many Metroids on this planet. So let's get started. First off, of course, is the local wildlife, which is, of course, much tamer than any Metroids or even later wildlife we'll be encountering. Plenty of destructible blocks on our way. These opening destructible blocks are, of course, vulnerable to the only weapon we have, so we can proceed. There are two ways to activate Morph Ball in this game. You can either double tap down, as per usual, or you can pull the right trigger. That will instant morph Samus into the Morph Ball. Very handy. Particularly for quick moves or speed running. Let's just shoot our way down here. And most Metroid games teach us to go to the left first, at least most 2D Metroid games, so let's go ahead and do that. Always a good idea to start by going left in a side-scroller. Never know what secrets or even plot-relevant details they may have hidden. Stupid punk crawled out of sight. But again, just the local wildlife, they're not too dangerous. Not saying it's impossible to die, but it's not easy either. This red door can only be opened with a missile. Just the one. That's all we need. This is our save point. They have the added benefit of restoring all of our health and ammunition. Let's trek a little further, see what we can find. And here we have our first Metroid of the game. So unlike the larval Metroid seen in pretty much every other Metroid game, Metroid 2 had the distinction of showing off the different forms of the Metroid's life cycle. So this Alpha Metroid is actually what they evolve into after their larval stage. They're not too difficult, but at the same time, alphas are dicks and I hate them. I will go into detail why later on. Whoa, Whoa, what's happening here? The lava's sinking. So, one weird anomaly of planet SR388 is that the geography and the tectonic plates are presumably linked directly to the life signs of the Metroids inhabiting the area. Destroying all the Metroids in the area will cause an earthquake to occur, which will change up the local geography in some way that allows Samus to progress. Which is, of course, just a video game way of gating your progress until you're ready to proceed and have completed all the tasks that the game wants you to. So let's head back and see what else we can explore now that we've destroyed that first Metroid of ours. That counter in the upper right shows how many Metroids there are lurking in the area. So it's a good indicator of when we can expect to proceed. Let's keep going here. The local wildlife gets a little hardier here. Starts to become easier to just doink them with a missile. Probably not the best verb to use, but for some reason I thought there was something over there. Not sure why. It happens every time I play this game. Again, the local wildlife has started to become a little hardier, going down to more than a few power beam shots, so it's just easier to shoot a missile into their faces. Gotta be careful of the lava here. It will drain our health, although not at such a rapid clip that we're done for the second we fall in. 4 Metroids detected. That's not too bad. I'm sure there is a quicker way past those things than waiting for them to jump up and hover in place so that Samus can shoot them, but I haven't figured it out. These bugs here look an awful lot like Samus's visor. I wonder if there's some kind of correlation. Nah, it's probably just a coincidence. Nah, I'm sure it's nothing. So here we've entered an area that seems vaguely reminiscent, if you've played Zero Mission, of the Chozo architecture. There's a very good reason for that. These are, in fact, Chozo ruins. As we'll see in a bit once we get outside. AM2R does this great thing where it automatically scans pertinent information and you can optionally pull it up just by hitting the pause button. It's a good way to learn more about the lore of places. Just out of reach. What a shame. So let's see what secrets are hiding within this Chozo temple. Well, first of all, we have these blocks here with a certain icon. I wonder what that icon means. These bird heads launch energy blasts, and they're kind of annoying to deal with until you realize one missile destroys them, but good. And behind this missile door is usually something important, such as our first Chozo statue, which holds our first proper upgrade, the bombs. A Metroid staple, of course, we can now drop bombs all over the place, and that leads us to the first of another Metroid staple, missile expansions. In case you don't somehow know, Metroid games are famous for scattering item pickups around the environment to increase your health capacity, your ammo capacity, and just generally make you stronger the more you explore. Those blocks, of course, are vulnerable to bomb explosions. And so we can make our way forward this way. Wait a minute. These cracks. Aha! This game is actually, this particular Metroid game is really good at cluing you in various aspects of the environment, such as cracked blocks, to let you know if there's something hidden, such as an energy tank. More health is always good. For some reason I find health pickups to be the most satisfying, because then it's just like, well, try hitting me more, you son of a bitch. See how much punishment I can take now. And already we're up to our next Chozo statue, which holds the charge beam. This is new. This was not in the original Metroid 2, to my knowledge. And then I get a little OCD. Just making sure. You can never be too sure. Sometimes those rooms are hiding extra items, sometimes they're not. So the charge beam, in this game I don't actually find a lot of use for it. Certainly not as its intended use, as a more powerful charge-up beam. That door's locked, we can't proceed until later. And certainly it's a more powerful shot, it destroys these bird heads in one hit. But I mean, so does a missile, and that doesn't require any charge time. Speaking of missiles, I have a feeling there's plenty of expansions hidden behind scenery just like that. You may not be able to find them even by searching for destructible blocks in the area. They may just be hidden. Like over there. Just slide right in. And again, you can see the cracks in the wall. I mean, this is one of the more obvious aspects of it, but those cracks allow us to pick up our next missile expansion. And there's something glowing there, but we can't reach it from here. We'll have to come back around the other way. So let's start heading upwards and see what avenues we can explore over here. Back outside. And back inside. This shaft looks promising. If we make our way around to our next power-up. The Spider Ball has previously only appeared in the original Metroid 2 and the Metroid Prime games. This, and obviously the original Metroid 2, are the only 2D Metroid games to have ever used the Spider Ball. For slightly obvious reasons. I mean, if you don't plan for it, then it's very easy to use the Spider Ball to go wherever you want. It is mitigated because the Spider Ball is about as slow as molasses. Let's keep going. See what avenues have opened up with this Spider Ball. It does whatever a Spider Ball does. Can it crawl? No, it can't. It's just a ball. That Metroid shell back there is usually indicative of, surprise surprise, another Metroid. And as that is our mission, sometimes we forget, but our mission is in fact to exterminate all of the Metroids remaining on SR388. One aspect of the charge beam that I find much more useful than its actual purpose is, like the Metroid Prime games, it acts as a sort of vacuum for pickups. If a bunch of pickups drop, it's easy to charge up the beam and pull them in towards Samus. Yet another missile pickup. We're already gathering quite a few, and that's good considering how many missiles we need. Metroids are only vulnerable to missiles in this game. And these things up here, they look like they're part of the background at first, so they're very easy to miss. But if you shoot them in the right order, that right order letting you activate them all at once, that opens up this path over here that leads to the energy tank. It's very sneakily hidden. And I'm willing to bet a lot of people missed it their first time. Because who would think to just shoot random objects in the environment? Those look like they could be part of the background. Maybe that's the game teaching you that you have to pay attention and maybe shoot things in the background if they look suspicious. Just spider ball up here and see if there's anything on the roof of this temple? It doesn't really look like it, but hey, chose a statue. So let's head back. Reminder, we picked up the spider ball at the other end of this path, so using that and some bombs we may be able to explore some new avenues down where we couldn't before. Let's see just what we have in store ahead of us. Another Metroid shell, so certainly there are more Metroids along this way. Just so you know that there are Metroids hanging around. The scans that the game automatically picks up are placed into this logbook, which is full of a bunch of interesting information if you take the time to read it. I'll probably post those in the thread. So this is actually letting us know that Samus actually has a secondary mission on SR-388. She's looking for Galactic Federation Marines that have disappeared. One important thing about this equipment screen is that you can actually unequip upgrades that you collect. That was the map. That's just letting us know you can restart from our last save, check options, exit the game. But yeah, there's no real point to unequipping upgrades unless you want to go through a self-imposed challenge of some kind, but it's nice that the developer put that option in there. It hasn't been seen since Super Metroid. It's nice to have a little bit of control over your upgrades. See, this is why Alpha Metroids are dicks. Their exoskeletons on top are invulnerable to missiles, as you may have noticed, and sometimes they grow aware of this and are like, hey, I can hide close to the ground and therefore shield my weak spot from the deranged bounty hunter who wants to kill me. So, they're kinda dicks. Later ones also get smarter about just really rubbing up against you, getting real up in your business, so that it's difficult to avoid damage. Thankfully, they don't do a ton of damage, even though we don't have any armor upgrades at the moment. But you can bet that'll change later, with later forms of Metroid. Sometimes it's honestly easier to sit at the bottom of the cave, even if there are damage-inducing thorns, just to deal some damage to the Metroid from the underside. One last Metroid to deal with. 3 guesses where it is hiding. We don't have a lot of great footing here. And just to make sure, and to show off that how useful the charge beam can be in tense combat situations, it does jack. It does nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. We have to missile this punk from the underside, and he can be a dick about letting us do it. Seriously, get up in the top half of the screen so I can kill you already. Come on. Well, that was probably the most annoying one yet, but we got him. That's the last of the Metroids in the local habitats. So, right on cue, there's our next earthquake. We'll be able to see what exactly that's unlocked. And considering we have a whole bunch of decent upgrades, decent amount of firepower, we have bombs, we have the spider ball. For our first episode, we've collected quite a lot. I'm rather proud. Next time, we'll see just how much use we can put them to.